We're going to deal with a broach of a topic today, which is grief. And I'm wearing these bright colors to be a ray of light for anyone that might be grieving here today or whoever hears this message. I'm wearing yellow to be a beacon of light for anyone that's grieving. This is a veil shirt, which is a good place to go if you're grieving or having some problems during the holiday time and during this season. I'm also wearing a undone hat, which is a friend of mine who is actually a fashion designer. And his motto is voice, culture, and influence, which is more of a spiritual message, but another good thing to do if you are leaning towards your grieving during this holiday spirit. So what do we know about grieving? Grieving can come in several different forms. Loss of a pet, which I just lost 2 years ago. Big old Rottweiler. He had a very influx voice when he barked. It was like, mean. Or you can have death of a lost one. Or you could have loss of a relationship. Girlfriend broke up with me years ago before I met my beautiful wife during Christmas time, and I was like, why? What did I do? I bought you a present. Family or friends could be away from servicing in our good military, and you're actually grieving the fact that they're not around during the home time. You could be grieving your financial position. During this time, everybody's buying and shopping, and you might not just have the ends to make meet, and it's kind of tough on you. And that could be a financial grief and strain. Lastly, another way you could grieve is by seeing somebody else's tragedy. My wife, she actually literally saw somebody get hit on a bicycle. My son comes running in after she was on the way to picking my kids up to school. My son comes running in, and he's like, Dad, Mom's out in the garage crying. I go out, Shannon, what's going on? What's the matter? She's like, honey, I just saw the worst tragedy. I saw a guy get hit. He went 50 feet. That guy ended up dying. And my wife ended up literally choosing to do something about it and reach out to that family because that was important to her. But she still grieved the loss that family had just by visual. So there are stages of grief. The first stage of grief is denial. The second stage of the grief is anger. I just kind of displayed that when something happens to you. Third stage of grief is bargaining. The fourth stage of grief is depression. And the fifth stage of grief is acceptance. Now, I know this is a lot of material. Hopefully you can go back and review it, but I really want to touch to the people that might be hurting today, that might be hurting during this holiday season. It's really important. And the yellow is the beacon of light. I want to be that for you. I'm going to tell you a quick story. In 2006, my sister, my family, and we lost my mom 3 days before Thanksgiving. And what that did to me, I'm going to go through my little stage. The first thing is, I didn't want to do Thanksgiving. I was like, the heck with that. The second thing was, I immediately wanted to get to the funeral. I wanted to get to the church. I wanted to get there where you have the whole burial and it was going to be final and so-called conclusion and over with, right? I wanted to hear the pastor say, dearly beloved, we're gathered here today. God is good all the time. I wanted to hear that. I felt that somehow that was going to make it all go away and get her in the ground and be buried. Literally, I know the process of grieving had just begun. The third thing was, I was dealing with emotions of confusion and anger, not just with myself because there were things my mom and I didn't get through before she passed away, but also I was mad at others. How dare people go to Thanksgiving Day, 3 days after my mom passed away, and we're all sitting around talking about, how's the Thanksgiving? Do you want some gravy with that mashed potatoes? No, I don't want to eat. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk. I was upset. I was angry. I was confused that people had the lack of sadness and pain that I had. Why didn't they have what I had? And it was confusing to me. So, I have a question for you today. That question is, if you are grieving this holiday spirit, and you're faced with pain and sadness, or you're just looking to get over something quickly, my question to you is, do you face the challenge of loss and grief head on? Are you looking to get over it, or are you looking to face it head on? Because what I've learned was when you face the challenge of grief head on, you learn to endure. You learn to go through, and you're willing to go through the process. But if you're looking to get over something quickly, you're looking to get over loss and grief quickly, just get it over with. What ends up happening is that you're instantly trying to gratify the pain and the suffering, which leads to ignorance, and it leads to you masking what's really going on with your own emotions and around you. So, I got some quick steps for you that I want to share that you need to do, and one great statement. The great statement is, if you're looking, when it comes to loss and pain, if you're looking to get over it, it'll never happen. You're already lost. But look to get through it. Forward motion. That's what counts. If you look to get over something, especially loss, and it'll never happen. But look to get through it. Move forward each day. So the first step to my closing message is that if you are grieving and you're hurting today, I want you to scale back your obligations. A lot of people that lose someone in life, they think they can go right back to yesterday. They want to go back to the gym. They want to go to work, and they want to do all the things they were doing yesterday. That's not a bad idea, but it is, because what happens is you don't know how your emotions are going to respond. You don't know your bandwidth. You don't know what you have. I understand you want to go right back to where you were yesterday. I got to do this. I got to be here. I got to do this. And you want to kind of occupy your mind. It's not a good thing. Second thing, cry out as much as you need. When my wife came home and she was crying, cry it out. If you got to, just let it go. If you know you're crying when you're reaching for something and there's nothing there, you're like, oh my God, please. Let it go. Cry out if you need it. It's okay. Avoid self-medicating. Self-medicating, going to the bottle, you or whatever you do, it's a dark road, because you're going to have to eventually, it's going to lead you to ignorance, masking, and you're eventually going to have to deal with the true emotion and the situation that happened, and that is going to lead you into more of probably a longer standing. If you have to medicate, like antidepressants, stabilizers, sleeping aids, mood stabilizers, seek a doctor or counselor, somebody that can prescribe it. And lastly, seek counseling with your church, with your fellow grief groups, with fellow members that you know in your church, pastors, or literally psychologists. Counseling is good. When you affiliate with those that have been through some of the real issues you have been as well, it kind of helps alleviate some of your pain. So if you're grieving today, I hope this helped you. I hope I was a beacon of light for you. You guys have a good day.